Everybody, Ryan with Spotter Staffing here. I am on my way to my next Donuts with Directors. I am so excited to meet with Miss Helma, as we know her, from Academy for Global Citizenship. I'm on my way there now. Just a little public service announcement. I am not driving and filming this. I have pulled over and am in a Starbucks parking lot waiting to go over and meet her. So I'm going to do that now. Looking forward to this. Donuts with Directors, I believe this is episode 5. So we're very excited to bring this to you. Miss Helma from Academy for Global Citizenship. It's coming up next. So we're here for our 4th or 5th episode of Donuts and Directors. I can't remember which one it is.
But it's going to be the best.
It's the best one, I'm sure. I'm so sure. So I'm here with the wonderful Miss Helma.
Yes.
I love calling you Miss Helma. It's how I was introduced to you. I love calling you that.
Yeah, I don't use my last name actually. So
I love it, and I don't pronounce it very well. So
nobody
pronounces it for me.
Nobody pronounces it correctly, and let alone the spelling. So
Okay.
I just go by Miss Helma, and
All
that's
right.
how people find me.
But if I was going to pronounce it, how would I do it correctly?
Wardenaar.
Yeah, I'm not even going to
Yeah.
try it. Yeah, I'm not even going to try it. But we're in this beautiful garden outside of
Yes.
Academy for Global Citizenship.
Yep.
I got a little bit of a tour of the outside grounds here. So excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, so we do not have donuts. Normally I start these by saying we've got donuts, we've got a director.
Nope.
So here we go.
Nope.
This is my second one in a row, no donuts.
No, but there's a very valid reason for no donuts.
Very valid reason.
Right.
Yeah, very valid reason.
So the Academy for Global Citizenship is a charter school in the southwest side of Chicago. I am one of the founding team members. As you hear my accent and my last name, I'm born and raised Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and I was a teacher in the Netherlands. And then I met a wonderful American man, and I moved to the United States. And then I started to look around for schools. In the meantime, I was getting my second master in special education and leadership. And while I was observing in many different schools, I thought, God, I see so much opportunity for improvement, for a way to approach students. So when I met Sarah Elizabeth Ippel, the founder of this school, and she explained her thought, the Academy for Global Citizenship is her brain baby. I jumped on that and I said, I want to be a founding teacher. I want to be part of this movement. And so here we are, 14 years later.
Love it. 2 buildings now.
2 buildings and a new building on the way. It is going to look amazing. But one of the big things is that we do not serve our students any sugar additives. We only serve organic food, healthy. We're really conscious about what we put in our students nutrition-wise and in their brain. So hence no donuts with this director.
That is the wrong thing to do. Yeah.
Yes. No.
Now was that originally? That was part of the plan. That was part of the mission originally.
Yeah. It was always part of our mission and vision. So we really hope to grow stewards that will make an impact on the local community and the world beyond. So we often say, think locally, act globally, or act locally and then think about how it impacts the world. So we our students come to school in the morning and they have a organic breakfast made from scratch by our own Chef Eddie, thumbs up, and Miss Julia has been there since day one. And then our students really get their breakfast family style. During COVID, we have some restrictions, but we hope that this pandemic will be done soon. But they get their breakfast, and then we go to the classes where we start with a moment of just yoga, either to energize or to calm or to just regulate yourself. And we make sure that we teach students to reuse, reduce, and recycle, especially the reduce of. We don't need much material. We can really, we don't have to buy that much material. So that's a really important one. And then our students get a lot of movement during the day. So it's yoga, there's meditation, but also every day they have at least 40 minutes of PE class. We have in grades 3, 4, 5, we have Hubbard Street dance on Tuesdays. So our school day is perhaps a little longer, but because the students come to school and they get fed really healthy food and they're not hungry in the classes, we see a significant improvement in behavior because kids are not hungry.
That's awesome.
And in addition to all this movement and little brain breaks, students know, be quick with getting your coat on because we're going outside for 5 or 10 minutes just to like get some fresh air, get it going, and then back and switch to focus again.
Yeah.
But that helps because, quite frankly, we adults don't sit still all the time. That gets us wiggly. So kids need to move, and we make sure that we teach in the garden, that we teach. Sometimes it's just like, pick up your book and we're going to read outside. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you can tell if I'm just panning around here, you can see this is the flower garden, correct?
This is the
wildflower garden,
and the rock garden.
And the rock garden.
Can see that you can even teach here, and students huddle on the rocks.
So cool.
To receive their lessons. The garden over there looks a bit bare at the moment because we're preparing for the winter time.
Yeah.
But that's our sensory garden where students can touch the leaves but also smell it. So sometimes my students with diverse needs, they get their lessons about social emotional learning, and we do that through nature. So it's a really awesome way.
And then there's an edible garden up front, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything in that garden can be eaten, and we share that with the neighborhood. So sometimes we get questions from neighbors in this area that are like, what is that? And we're like, well, that's broccoli, or that's cabbage. There are some really nice flowers coming out of some of the vegetables. And they can take it, and we have a fabulous sustainability coordinator, Miss Krista Latorre, who would send fresh vegetables with a recipe of how to prepare it, and it's
so cool.
It's perfect. Yes.
So cool.
Yes.
All right. So you told me awesome things about Academy for Global Citizenship, and I love hearing more about that because this is my first time here.
Yep.
But I want to know, how did you get here? So how did you get to the Academy for Global Citizenship? You went into it a little bit, but what drove you to come here?
I strongly believe in being that change that you want to see. I came from a progressive school in the Netherlands, in which it was a Jena-plan school, which is a philosophy of classroom structure, classroom organization, in the sense that the kids that I had in the Netherlands were in grades 1, 2, and 3, all in one class, and then they would go for specific subjects to their preferred teacher, or to the teacher that would give the lesson about the topic that they needed to be taught in. So basically villages. We had small villages, or living spheres, as I would directly translate it. So when I came to the United States, and I was at a school where they had these tables where the chair is attached to the table and you can't even move this, and everybody was sitting in straight rows, and students were lined up in boy and girl at 10:26. That's your time to go to the bathroom. And I was like, well, what if it's 9 o'clock and you gotta go? And at this school, when we started the school, we really thought carefully and long about what do we want for students, and we want this to be an extension of their home, of their living space, and we are a community together. So the beginning of the school year, we don't have Pinterest perfect classrooms decorated. We do that together with the students. So we ask for their input of, what do you think would be best? And students like to, I have a bug here.
It's part of the garden. Yeah,
we're
part of the garden. Yeah.
So students would decide on how they would like to group the tables. So a lot of times students picked up on the idea of flexible seating. We have cave spots, and a cave spot is that you would find a quiet space, so that is when you want to do your independent work. But we also have the watering hole, which is where we come together as a small group for group discussions. So really thinking about, I came to this school, to AGC, because I really want to think critically about education what we need for students to build on so that they can be successful in the world that they are entering. Quite frankly, I'm aging myself here, but the way we were taught and the workforce that we entered when we were 18, 20 years old is not the same workforce that is now. And so we have to teach the students skills that they can take with them to become functional, efficient, social community members, where they can have a job that requires problem-solving skills. It is a job that also requires independent thinking, and working from home these days is not uncommon. So there's nobody then that's going to tell you have to show up at 9 o'clock. You just know the meeting starts at 9, so I better log on at 8:55 and I am prepared. So making sure that students are principled in their decisions of,
Sure.
I take care of myself and therefore I take care of the community.
I love that.
Because
Yeah.
I'm punctual, I make the right choices, even though there's not an adult right away looking at me. I just make the right choice because I know it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so, as an international baccalaureate school, because AGC is an international baccalaureate school, we have 10 profile words. Now, sorry, Miss Mack, if I miss one or two, but we are principled, meaning we make the right choices even though an adult is not looking. We're balanced in work-life balance, balanced in, sure, we sometimes have a donut, but not today. Sometimes we have some like if there's a celebration, yeah, then we go out and have something more sweet. But at other times, we just make sure that we're balanced with our diet, balanced with our sleep and being the hours that we're awake. We are caring for our own body, but also for our neighborhood, for the direct local area, thinking about how can we make that impact. But we're knowledgeable and we're inquirers. So all of those things, when I came from the Netherlands, from a very progressive school, and I was looking for improvement, that's when I really started thinking of like, then what do I want? And I really think that the movement that AGC set forth and that I am a founding teacher of, that it really is making the difference in success in life for a lot of our students.
I'm sure it is. All right, so talk to me a little bit about the special education aspect, because that's obviously how we got introduced.
I'm going to correct you right away. It's diverse learners.
Diverse learners. Okay, yeah.
We're not necessarily special because
Point
we're
taken.
part.
Yeah.
We're part of the community.
Well, they are extremely special, but yeah.
Special in my heart,
Yeah,
yes. But they
absolutely.
are part of the community and also very much included in the community.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I have my master in special education and leadership, and it was called special education there. But we started up a diverse learner program that really focuses on including students in the classroom. We want to make sure that they are a valued partner, community member, because why would we separate them being at school and then you go out in the community and you're in the community, you're included in the community. Vice versa for some of the typical developing students, it's really healthy to learn how to react to a student who might have a sensory overload, or how to help a student who might not be able to read or learn to read as fast as a typical developing student does. So we really focus on trying to have the students in the classroom. That being said, sometimes there are exceptions. Sometimes there are students that really have their needs that we have to meet. Sometimes they do really do better in a smaller group setting. To get to that point, we have to use data. We have to really look at what is the least restrictive environment, and we really have to try everything possible to keep them in the general education classroom. But if that's not working, then we do need to say, okay, we need to meet your needs in another way. And sometimes it's that we pull them out, sometimes it's only pulled out for part of the day. But even though we have students who have some significant needs, they're never pulled out 100% of the time. I know you did a donuts with director Mo Boody, and she would love me for saying this, but I strongly believe that we have to take care of all community members as a team, and making sure that we provide them with accommodations, modifications, making sure that we meet them in their least restrictive environment. And sometimes that takes a little bit of thinking work, a little bit of creativity, but we'll get there. There's a very strong team of teachers here at AGC. We often collaborate with each other. We try to come up with ideas. We also make mistakes. But hey, we're human, and sometimes I would say the mistake is never intentional. It's just that sometimes you come up with an idea, and then we have to say like, okay, well, this didn't work out.
It's a learning opportunity, right?
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, Mo's the other one that wouldn't eat a donut, just so we're clear. Yeah.
That's why maybe Mo and I can get along real well.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so to end these things, I always do the same thing. I give you a couple minutes just to tell anybody that's aspiring to get into the diverse learner system, or trying to get into that kind of occupation. What advice would you give them and kind of guiding their career?
Ooh, a couple of things. I think match your big heart with a big brain. Thinking that schools, universally, but especially in the United States, we are challenged in budgets and that kind of stuff. So be aware that you sometimes have to be creative, that you sometimes have to find solutions, but you can find solutions by being a member of online platforms. Like, I can't name you all the programs and groups on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok that I am a member of, because I learn from others. I may now have 22 years of experience in the diverse learner world, but I still learn from other people. And there's a class coming by. Hi guys.
Classes, all right.
But they know. That's okay. They're used to
I love
people
it.
being, no, that's totally fine. So learn from others. Be open-minded to learn and keep learning. The other thing for the diverse learner world, I would definitely say be organized. From day one that you start, have your folders on the Google Meet organized, label things, because the diverse learner world comes, unfortunately, with a lot of paperwork, and you can sink in that paperwork real quick. So make sure that you're organized, and connect with parents. The relationship with students and parents is absolutely important. I would really say that parents are the expert of their children. I am the expert on an educational from the educational point of view, but parents remain the expert of their child. They know more of what their child may think or feel, or they sense it, and I think never forget what the parent can bring to the table. Build that relationship and be a partner with parents. We are challenged with budgets and laws and all kinds of obstacles that we come across in the day-to-day life of a diverse learner. But together as a team with teachers, the admins, the parents, medical professionals, work as a team together to figure out what can we do to meet the needs of this child. So awesome. I think that's collaboration, being organized, being creative. Yeah. That kind of sums it up. Yes. All
right, Miss Helma, you did it. You're off the hot seat.
That
was Donuts with Directors, but this is not Donuts with Directors.
Donuts with Directors without the donuts.
Without the donuts.
You brought me something else, and I appreciate that.
I did.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Anytime.
And best of luck to everything coming to you.
Absolutely, and if there's anybody who has interest in coming to the school for a tour, please reach out through Ryan. We're more than happy to host people. We have certain people in the school that have some time. I can make time because, again, we can learn from each other, and as soon as we have our new building, I'm really looking forward to touring people. But even in this building where we are temporarily, it will be an amazing moment just to talk to each other and share, vent, cry, laugh together.
We'll have to do this again in the new building.
Oh, absolutely.
Get a tour of it.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
yes.
All right, thank you for your time.
Anytime.